clap your hands. Baby, I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I am on my way home. Me and my yellow buggy is out of here. Amen. If you have your Bibles, turn with me to the book of Mark. Amen. I want to read out of the King James Version. Mark chapter 5. Pastor, you preached this morning. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say about that. I mean, power of the Lord was in here so heavy. Amen. I want to actually look at, Mark chapter 4, verse 35. Mark chapter 4, verse number 35. It says, and the same day, when the eve was come, he said unto them, let us pass over unto the other side. Let's look at chapter 5, verse 1. And they came over unto the other side of the sea. I want to stop right there. Just look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, we're going somewhere. Look at another neighbor and say, I know we're at the end of the year, and I know it don't really look like it, and I know we really ain't got the money that we need right now, but can you prophetically tell your neighbor we're going somewhere? I'm reminded of a story about a young man who he was a 12th grade student in high school. And his grandfather had made a promise to him one day that he was not aware of. She made the promise about him to his parents. So one day, he finishes school and he graduates, and his grandfather tells him to come ride with him. So he gets in the car, and the grandfather is driving, and after a while, the grandfather stops the car and he tells the grandson to get in the car and drive. So they're driving down the road, and the grandfather is giving him instructions and direction on which way to go. And it seems as if they begin to drive and it starts to rain. It starts to rain, Pastor, and the little boy who really is like that experience in driving gets nervous and asks the grandfather, could he stop? Grandfather tells him, no, son, just keep driving. As he keeps driving, it seems as if the rain begin to pour down a little harder. And what happens is he looks at his grandfather and says, grandfather, I've only driven when it was dry. He says, I've never driven in seasons or situations like this. The grandfather tells him, just keep driving. So he's driving. You see, now not only is the rain falling hard on Deacon Cook, and not only is it pouring down, but now it got a little dark, and you hear nothing but thunder and lightning. Little boy is getting frustrated and upset with his grandfather because he's trying to figure out, why would you make me drive in something like this and I'm not experienced in this kind of weather? Grandfather just kept on smiling and said, just drive. He gets about 3 miles down, and when he gets about 3 miles down, the rain, it stops falling. And he looks over to the right, April, and there is a car dealership. Help me here, Holy Ghost. Grandfather says, pull in the car dealership, and I want you to pick out whatever kind of car that you wanted. What is your point, Molly? If the grandson would have stopped, help me here, Holy Ghost, he would have missed his promise. And you want to know why Peter's Rock is not full on tonight? It's because somebody woke up this morning and saw a storm. Help me here. And somebody got a little too scared. They got too nervous, and they didn't realize that if they would have just kept on going, something good was going to come out of their going through. This text says, in verse 35, watch this, there's 3 points. In verse 35, he says, let us pass over to the other side. Now, I know that's all y'all see, but actually Jesus, he says 3 things in this one particular statement. He says, let us pass over to the other side. The first thing he says, by saying, let us pass over to the other side, he lets us know that you're not traveling by yourself. And I know that some of us that went through this whole year, it seemed like we ain't had nobody on our side. It went through this whole year, it looked like we was in this thing alone. But Jesus did not say, y'all go to the other side. He said, let us pass over. And I come to encourage you to let you know that even when you can't see You're not traveling by yourself. But watch this. The second thing he says, he lets us know, is that with Jesus, you can go somewhere. I know that you got your boo, and you know that y'all go to Ramshorn and Denny's and Applebee's and y'all go to Burger King and have it your way. But baby, let me let you know something. With Jesus, you can go somewhere. I mean, for real though, if you really think about it, before you found Jesus, your life was miserable. You were having a good time, but your heart was still broke. You had a lot of money, but your heart was still broke. You had houses and land, but your heart was still broke. But I'm so glad that when I found Jesus, I found myself in a better place than I've ever been before. I didn't have everything that I wanted, but I sure had everything I needed. I didn't have a lot of money, but I had salvation. I didn't have a lot of friends, but I had a lot of faith. I didn't have a lot of friends, but I had a lot of hope. Tell somebody with Jesus, yeah, you can go somewhere. All right. The Bible says, watch this. The only way into a storm, church. And the Bible says that Jesus is on the boat with them. They're not by themselves. And it's funny that guys was preaching because it's embarrassing. Watch this. It's one thing when you don't know Jesus. Watch this, and he's in your presence. But it's a sad thing when you experience him. You know he's right there, and you still get scared. The worst thing to have is some scary Christians. Y'all ain't gonna help me in here. I remember in 2000, the year 2000, church, in the year 2000, we had this big thing where they said the world was going to come to an end. And it wasn't the people in the world that was getting water and getting food, but it was the Christians, the saints, the dancers, the praise and worship leader, the preacher that was putting water in the basement and storing up canned goods. But the worldly folk was at the club. They was getting their drink on. They say, you know what, if we're going to let's down like this. And I wonder why the saints didn't get together and get to church and together praise God. But they were too busy getting wood and getting water, trying to survive. But I believe the reason they got scared, Dan, I'm done. But the reason they got scared, Dan, watch this. The Bible says that when they got ready to leave, the Bible said that there were other ships, little ships that were with them. And when the storm came, I don't think they were scared about the storm. But what happened was, you hear nothing else about the little ships. So maybe, Mario, what they did was they allowed what was happening around them to lose focus on who was with them.
Hurry up, boy, 7 minutes.
I know your grandma died of cancer, and I know that your granddaddy died of sugar diabetes, but baby, don't let what's around you affect you. Don't let what's around you cause you to forget who's with you. I know that everybody in your family did not graduate, but don't let that thing affect you. I know everybody in your family don't have a good job, but don't let that affect you. Let God before you. So he's more than the world at this year. I got one more minute, nigga. Lord God bless you real good. And may have a smile upon you. But I got a little frustrated here because they called him. They said, Master, do you care that we perish?